Sisters, let's talk.
Ladies in the house.
Hello, everybody.
Oh.
Welcome to Sistah Talks. My name is Alexis. I'm going to be one of your hosts.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to introduce yourself.
And my name is Lisa. I am the other host and her mother. And I am super excited to be here. And I'm super excited that you ladies are joining us today. I am a pastor. I am a mom, a grandmother. I'm a retired officer from New York City. And this is Sistah Talks.
Yes, ma'am. I'm a nurse. I currently work in the Atlanta area. And we are just so excited to have you guys. It is 2 days before Valentine's Day. So we have a special episode that we kind of brought together. It's called Let's Talk About Love.
All right now.
In the spirit of the season, we want to extend love, give love, all that good stuff. So we have 3 lovely ladies here. And this episode is a little bit different. This episode is a little bit special because we have our younger ladies. We want to hear from our younger generation about what love is and what defines love in the younger generation. We always talk about, intimacy and more sexual things when it comes to Valentine's Day, but we want to get to the basic core of what love is outside of all that extra stuff. At the fundamental core of it, what is love in the most purest and innocent form, right? So we have our 3 beautiful ladies here. We have Tamara, say hi.
Hey guys, my name is
Kayla. We have Kaya. Ladies, I want you just to introduce yourselves and tell everybody just a little snippet about who you are. So we'll start with Miss Kayla.
All right. Hi guys. I'm so happy to be here. I'm a senior in high school and I currently work in a Christian store and I absolutely love it.
All right now. All right.
Samara.
Okay, hey guys, I'm Samara. I'm a senior in high school, and I love pretty much all types of music, and it really makes me happy listening to it.
Okay. Kaya.
Hi guys, I'm Kaya. I'm a junior in high school, and I really enjoy Pilates.
Fancy.
Okay. All right now.
Yes, thank you so much, guys, for coming and joining us. We are so excited to have you, and you guys were taking out a good chunk of your Saturday just to come in and just chat with us. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. So let's dive in. Love, right? It can be such a complicated, such a amazing, sometimes a little heart-wrenching experience. We just want to kind of jump into what love is. And we have a little video for you guys about what young people are saying that are in your age group, because you guys all range from about 16 to about 19. What your peers say love is to them. And we can just go from there. So let's go ahead and check this clip out. We were out on the streets of Atlanta. We just wanted to get everybody's, well, not everybody's, but a few ladies' opinion about what love is. So
check it out, y'all.
Everybody, it's Sistah Talks here. We have Dominique. Say hi, Dominique. Hey. We're just going to ask Dominique a really quick question about love. So, Dominique, how would you define love? And what would you want to see from somebody that loves you?
Love is a feeling that can't be explained. And it's just a feeling that can't be explained, and from someone that loves me, I want communication, loyalty, trust, and
I love that. Thank you so much, Dominique. Everybody, Sistah Talks here. We have Gabby, beautiful Gabby here. We're just going to ask her a couple questions about what love is. So, Gabby, how would you define love?
I would say love is patient, love is kind, and God is love.
Okay.
I'm a strong believer.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Gabby. I appreciate you guys. All right. Hey, guys. This is Sistah Talks. We are actually talking to Lil Davy right here. Say hi to everybody.
What's good?
Lil Davy is 19 years old. I'm just going to ask her a couple questions about what she thinks about love. So, Lil Davy, you're an artist, right?
Right.
Music.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure you're out singing, right? And dating and all that. What does love mean to you? How do you see love right now?
Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of contents that could be considered as love. So love isn't just one thing. Like different things that you do is love. You know what I mean? So yeah.
What would be those different things? What would you consider? Like, what would you want to see?
Okay, so affection is love. You know, doing things for somebody, you know, is love. Just attention, support, time, all of that. That's love. You know?
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you.
So
awesome.
They're so cute. Okay, guys. So you heard from a couple of young ladies about what love is. So, what is love to you? Well, how would you define love? So we're gonna start with Kaya. How would you define love?
Well, I think love is kind. Love is caring. Love is uplifting. I think love should make you happy.
I like that.
I love it.
I like that. Sam, what would you say love is?
Okay, so love personally for me, I feel like it is something that doesn't need, is like taken very seriously, but also can be taken very lightly. There's so many elements to love. Love can be a fairy tale. Love can be very hard, and love can be very, very tiresome sometimes. And people need to come to a conclusion and get together to talk out their issues and be able to come to an understanding with each other that love is something that can be resolved. It can be very talked about. It can be very, very equal, and it has to be on both levels, if that makes sense.
I love that. The 50-50, of course. And
Yes.
love is not always between you and another person. It could be between you and a book or a movie or a TV show. So there's different aspects of love, just not with one-on-one with the person in a relationship. Like you love your parents like your parents, not like you love your boyfriend, or you know what I'm saying? So there's different not levels, but different aspects of love, if that makes sense. So
Yeah, sure. Okay.
It's good. It's good.
So would you say love is more of like an emotion, or more is an emotion with action? Like, because you said something, how you said something about happiness. And we all know we can't be happy all the time, right?
Of course.
Love can be hard. So how would you define love as like more of an emotion of you feeling those butterflies, you feeling those happy emotions, you feeling that honeymoonish kind of phase, or is it as a decision or an action that you move through every day in order to love somebody?
ooh, that is
Yeah. That's a deep one right there.
so I think it's
that right?
Yeah, I think it's half and half. When you date someone or like you're getting to know somebody, you obviously have those feelings and you're like, oh, I think I like them. But and then it's another half of it is the actions, and meaning like, oh, I'm gonna take them out to dinner, and it all combines into one thing, which makes it so powerful and so awesome, which gives you still butterflies to this day. So it's not like the butterfly feeling goes away necessarily, but it continues due to those actions that were taken to bring it all together.
Right. So those actions keep you in a state of loving. Gotcha. Sam, what would you say? Do you feel like love is more of like words or actions or decision, or more of just like how you feel?
I agree with Kayla. I believe that it's a 50-50, because the emotion side, like love, or like just the thought of liking someone, it keeps you up at night, it gives you butterflies, and it leaves you understanding what is this feeling that's like overcoming my body. And like it's just like love is that euphoric feeling of knowing things are going right, while the decision part of the side is knowing just what Kayla said, just knowing the different aspects and just the thought of taking them out or going somewhere with them.
Yeah, I agree with Kayla and Samira. I mean, it's also emotional feeling, but you have to put in the work. You have to show the people that you love that you care about them. You can't just say that you love them, but then you don't call them, you don't say sweet things. So you have to put in the work as well.
All right,
and it's not the huge big things. It can be little things, like a little text message, like, "Hey, I love you. I'm really busy. I'll talk to you later." Like, it's the
Yeah,
small
Yeah.
things,
just
not
an
like you have to go.
acknowledgement.
Yeah, it's not you have to go out to like some $100 restaurant every week, and
Hmm.
it's the small things like you can sit in your house and watch Netflix,
I love
or
Yeah.
like go on a picnic.
Yes, I love that because I think sometimes society is. I don't know how it is for younger people because I'm in my 30s, but I don't know how it is for you guys. But sometimes we equate um, grand gestures to equate to how they feel about you, especially in the social media era where a lot of people um, like to grandstand and like to put on the impression that their lives are very different than how their lives actually are in reality. So sometimes people do above and beyond, or just to put it on Instagram or put it on Facebook, or it's kind of like a little bit of a facade. So in comparison to how you guys would define love, what do you see on social media? What do you see on Instagram, and what are your opinions in regards to how you believe love is and how it's portrayed on Instagram or Facebook?
Well, I think society definitely changes love itself for different people because it sexualizes
Mm,
love, and it changes all of it, if we're being honest here, because in social media, Instagram, Facebook, you see all this stuff like we're going to a hotel, we're doing this, we're doing that, and it's like, that's okay, you do y'all, but like, where's the innocence in that? It's so fun to just be a kid. Like, you have your entire life to grow up and get married and do all the grown up stuff, but like, be a kid and enjoy your teenage years without having to be like, oh no, this is not what we're supposed to be doing. Like, just have fun. But social media gets in your brain and you're like, oh, if all these people are doing it, all my friends are like, oh, we went to this place last night and you wouldn't even believe what happened. Like, and it makes you think like, dang, am I being boring, or is what is this? Like, social media really tries to manipulate your brain based on what other people post.
That's
mm,
good, Kayla.
Yeah.
That's really good. Mm-hmm.
it's a huge comparison culture.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Like,
mhm.
okay.
Go
So
ahead.
for my opinion, I would say that so many kids, especially in like our newer generation, especially on TikTok, a lot of teens love to post about their relationships, love to show the toxic sides, the more intimate sides. And a lot of teens feel like, oh, the late night texts at like 3 a.m. or telling them you're lonely all the time, saying, like, they feel like that's love. And I feel like people think it's very disposable, and like they lost the emotional factor to love. Like, it's always about the physical attraction to it. Like, they're always about the physical,
I
but never
agree.
about the emotional. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't get on social media that much, but when I do see love on social media, it's always like they put the best stuff out there. And I feel like, if you're single at home, you kind of start to feel a little bad. You still feel like you're missing out on something. Like, why don't I have this experience? You start to feel lonely, like you need that relationship to be happy. And I think you should be happy with yourself before, you go into a relationship.
That's
Okay.
good.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Y'all
So
needed to be my friends when I was growing up, because I didn't have girls that was as smart as you girls are.
I know
Wow.
wow, like they know what they like, what they
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
we
like.
know
Absolutely.
it. We know it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's good though. You need that self assurance in order to know yourself before you actually even think about dating somebody else. That's super important. I'm
Exactly.
glad you guys are starting to get that foundation of just knowing who you are, and what
Yes.
you like, and what your standards are, what your boundaries are. So
Mhm.
that's amazing.
Mhm. Can I
So
ask you a question?
mhm,
So when I was growing up, that was ancient history to you ladies. We didn't have social media. We didn't even have that. Wasn't even a thought. And
neither.
so there was a lot. I mean, we still had a lot of cultural influences, a lot of pressure from peer pressure and so forth. Do you ladies feel like we talk about compromise? Do you ladies feel like the pressure from social media and what everybody else is doing, and when you start to think about, am I missing out on something? Does it kind of pull you to want to compromise and kind of pull you to, because I was that kind of girl. When I grew up, I just wanted to be like the crowd. I wanted to do what everybody else was doing. So I didn't have a sense of myself. And so anything I saw people doing, I said, well, that must be good, and that must feel good, and that must be right. So I'm going to do that too. So do you feel any pressure to conform to what culture defines as love, as what you see on social media, and even the conversations you have with your friends?
So when I first got into, like, I guess you can say, like, the dating scene, or like the of age to like date someone, I was going to a public school, and so I saw all these girls and all these couples doing all these things, and I was like, man, maybe if I'm like not like that, no one's gonna date me. Like, what if I just put myself out there in a way that I know is like I shouldn't? Not that I at the time knew that I shouldn't. It was just like, oh, I have to be socially accepted. This is like, I need to put myself out there, so maybe some boy would recognize me and be like, oh my goodness, she's beautiful. But now that I look back on it, it's like, now I know who I am, and I can stand my ground and be like, I don't need that. Like, what's the point? What's the point in that? Like, okay, y'all have fun with that. I'm gonna sit over here in my solid ground. Ain't nobody about to shake me. No.
All right, now that's what I'm talking about.
For me, it was actually kind of the complete opposite. I never kind of felt the need, like I never felt the peer pressure of, need to be in a relationship. I had my friends, I had my family, and to me that was enough. And listening to my friends talk about all their boy drama and how they get all caught up in that and not focusing on their schoolwork, and how they'll be crying and how they'll be sad in school and avoiding certain hallways so they wouldn't have to see them. That kind of turned me off a little bit. Also part of me was kind of worried about like getting my heart broken and stuff like that. I just kind of wanted to focus on me for a little bit, on school, my hobbies, and my interests. So yeah.
Okay, so for me, I feel like my vision of like all of what Kai and Kayla said, I feel like my interpretation came from books. Like I've always read books about how love is so perceived in a different way in high school. Like it's just this wild, adventurous type of romance. Well, it's completely opposite in high school. Like there's tons of drama that you don't want to get yourselves involved in. And like Kaya said, you don't want to be around your friends like when they're always complaining and crying to you about boy drama, when it gets you turned off of the feeling that, oh wow, this could happen to me if I put myself out there in that type of situation. So I have felt the need to put myself out there, but now as I'm older, I know that I shouldn't, and I'm still learning along the way. But yeah.
So I'm guessing you guys are single.
Well,
Single over here.
Single, okay, Kaya.
I mean, I'm kind of talking to this guy.
Okay.
He came over like once or twice, so.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. Getting to know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but are you with somebody?
I am. I've been in a relationship for 11 months now.
Oh, wow. Almost a year.
It's been a minute.
What is it? When?
It will be, we'll be 11 months in February 9th. 11 months will be February.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Is it Valentine's Day? No, okay. But never mind. That's
okay. Well, how's that going?
It is going really well. He is awesome. My parents love him, which is another huge factor in a relationship. Parents have instincts. Moms have instincts. They will know the second that boy walks in the door if it's going to be a yes or if it's going to be a no. So me and my mom, we've been like this. Love her to death. And so even if I start talking to some guy and she meets him and she'll tell me like, no. And me being the stubborn person I am, I'm like, nah, I don't know. A few weeks go by and I'm like, oh, I should have listened to my mom.
That's right.
I was the exact same way. I'm stubborn. I like to learn. I see lessons and I learn lessons from watching other people. But when it comes to like things that I go through, I like to learn them on my own. And so every single boyfriend I brought home, every single boyfriend, my parents were just like, okay, yeah,
That's
he's
my.
right, but like that ain't it. And I was just like, really? Like you don't even know him. Like
That's what I would say. That's what I would say. And I'm like, Mom, you met him one time. Like, it's okay.
We
Weeks go
know.
by.
they know.
Red flags go up. Like, red flags are flying everywhere. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, look at that. Ignoring them. And I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what?
And they see it before you see it. And it doesn't even have to be anything that he's doing like inherently wrong or like terrible. It could be just like your personality just doesn't mesh well with my daughters.
Exactly. Or they can tell, like, just the way his attitude is by the second they meet someone. Like, they just know, like, oh, you're not this. Y'all are not. Because I'm a fiery person. If you get me mad, like, it's not good. And my mom was like, that's not gonna mesh well. He's not gonna take it well. I was like, okay.
And they see you in a very clear light, in a way that you sometimes don't even see yourself. And so they know, they're just like, okay, this person, like, that's not gonna work. And every single time, that my mom was like, he's cool, he's cool, but like, nah, that's not for you.
Yeah.
And we sound like my mom.
Yeah, we know that because we've lived it, and we can spot them, and then we got our antennas up when the boy comes home, and we're like sizing them up, and never mind the fathers. Oh, forget that.
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started on my dad. Whenever a boy comes over to meet my dad, I literally sit them down and I like giving them a list of questions like, how are you gonna answer this? No. Okay, take that word out, replace it with this one. Like a whole script. Because I know my dad. I'm like, just be calm. He's gonna stare at you. Don't sweat. Don't turn red. Don't look him in the eye. Just okay, yes, sir. Because
that sounds like your father, my sister Samantha.
I have a boyfriend that could not handle it. He was so offended. Like, my parents are from New York. I'm from New York. Kayla, isn't your parents from New York too?
Yeah, and my dad's from Dominican Republic, so he's like, I'm not American. I don't go by American ways. That's literally what he says to them, and I'm like,
my dad doesn't care about your feelings. He doesn't care about he's not gonna go but so far. But I remember him being so butthurt about my dad just being like, who are you? Like,
why are you here? And what do you want with my daughter? I know what you want with my daughter. Get to stepping.
Oh my
god. He was so offended, and I was just like, you too soft for me.
You gotta go. You can't handle my spicy family. You can't do it. That's happened to me once before. He met my dad one time, got too intimidated, and was like, gotta go. And he literally, I was like, oh, okay. Bye.
That's it.
Even
taken.
That's right.
It seems like everybody's parents are like pretty involved, and
very.
You have both parents in the household. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know that growing up, you had not only saw what love was by watching other people outside of the home, but I'm pretty sure that your parents gave you an example about how love was and how it was supposed to go in their world based off of how they loved each other. So by looking at your parents, what did you learn about relationships, whether that be healthy or maybe a little dysfunctional? What did you learn, or what did you take away from your parents watching them growing up with each other? Not just what they told you what a relationship was supposed to look like, but what did they display in front of you?
Okay, so...
Sam, you want to go first? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so for me, I observe my parents when they're not looking. So...
She watching y'all.
Watching y'all. But my mom and my dad, I feel like they show a very healthy relationship. They're both very consistent, and they talk to each other whenever they have a disagreement. Even when I don't see it, I know they come together in the end to talk about the issue, and then they make up. And just even around our family, they're just so caring and loving. Even when someone does something wrong, they always handle it in a manner that isn't rude or offensive to anybody. And I just see a lot of love every day, especially around the holidays, just the way they show their gratitude and love for everyone. They just know how to they know how to show what a relationship looks like from society, like from a non-societal perspective.
Okay.
I like that a lot. I think personally, from seeing my parents, that relationship, there's a lot of sacrifice that happens when you're in a relationship. My dad's a truck driver, so he is maybe out he was out for a week, like he'd be on the road for a week and come back on the weekends, and like that's a big sacrifice for my mom.
Yes.
Like that is a
Yes.
huge sacrifice, because if I was married and I was like, oh, I would want my husband to be home.
Yeah.
Like, and seeing my mom like talk to him on the phone, like I would get a little sad for her because my dad is not even here. And then when he comes back on the weekend, like they go on a little date night and he makes it up to her. He said, I'm bringing in the cheddar, Mom. I'm bringing it in.
Yeah.
So he comes home and takes her on a nice, cute little date. And
Yeah.
seeing your parents, there's something about seeing your parents just like hug or like just be in love just in the moment. Like when you look over and you're like, oh, that's kind of gross. But you're like, oh, like that's because I know a lot of families do not have that. And I know a lot of young girls don't have a prime example of what a loving relationship should look like in their household.
Yeah.
So I'm super, super grateful to have that in my life. All throughout my entire life, seeing my parents just love on each other, and their love like radiates off of them to me and my brother.
Wow. That's beautiful.
So it's not like just them, it's like our entire family gets the love just from them.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Wow, that's a gift. That's beautiful.
It really is, because that's
Yes. It's not the norm.
That's not
Okay. Yes.
And even when they're
Hiya.
arguing, everything is all settled in the end, and they all just like Samara said, they all come together in a way that is not offensive towards each other. So it's really pretty to see that, because I know when I fight with my boyfriend, I just want to like, ooh, boy. And I'm like, you know what, Mom, what should I do? And she gives me a perfect example of what I should do in a caring, loving way to not offend him. So they're really a great example for me.
That's wonderful.
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I agree with what Kayla and Samara said. My parents, they gave off a really good, healthy relationship in the household. They compromise. They work as a team. They work together. Like usually, the woman's the one doing all the cooking and the cleaning. But with my parents, my dad, he pitches in with the cooking. He pitches in with the cleaning. And they work together as a team. There's also like a friendship. They always say how they're each other's best friend. They laugh with each other. They don't take each other too seriously. They can joke, and I think that's really important, to see.
Wow, that's fantastic.
That's awesome. So, again, that's not the norm. There's a lot of young girls and boys too that grow up in broken families, and even if they do have the two parents living in the household, a lot of times it's very dysfunctional.
Yes.
Abuse. Verbal abuse, emotional abuse, sometimes physical abuse, sexual abuse. There could be a lot of dysfunction. The fact that all three of you have very high praise for how your parents deal with each other, that says a lot. And we don't see that in the Black community enough, or in the people of color, brown, Black. We don't see that enough in our community.
Yes.
Healthy examples of what a family looks like, and having your children be the product of healthy, loving relationships, not perfect relationships. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen some things, because we're beings, right? We're beings, and we don't always get it right in front of our children, in front of children, in front of each other. We don't get it right. I'm pretty sure you guys can point to a story or a scenario where you were just like, my parents could have did that better, or there's that what they. I cry, or I say somebody raised their voice, and it happens. It happens. But I really love the fact that you guys have like such high opinions of your family and how your parents deal with each other. I think that's really beautiful, and it speaks to how you guys are speaking and setting the standard for your own lives and your own love, because. Oftentimes when we don't, especially younger people, when we don't have an example in the home of how we're supposed to be loved and how we're supposed to be treated, we tend to try to figure out those boundaries through experience.
Yeah.
Oftentimes when we try to figure that out through experience, we fail miserably before we find success, because we go through trials. and relationships and experiences in order to figure that out, you end up with a lot of hurt and a lot of baggage on the way. So your parents have done an amazing job in setting that you don't have to do that. If you don't have to do that, because you already know this is how I used to be in love. This is how my parents being loved, and that don't look like love to me.
I want what my parents have. That's what I'm looking for in a relationship.
Run opposite direction when I see something that don't look like how I'm used to it looking like. I can remember I had a boyfriend that used to curse at me, and I was like, oh, whoa, wait a minute here. And he used to be like, everybody curses, like, and I was like, yeah, but not at me when we're having an argument. It's disrespectful. And he always used to say I was so sensitive, and I was like, well, I wasn't used to being talked to that way when I was a kid. My parents didn't curse at each other, and they certainly didn't curse at us. So I view that as disrespect, but he didn't have that standard, that basic respect. And I think that's it. From the first 5 minutes of you guys talking, you already can tell that you guys have a good foundation. And I think that's beautiful. So speaking of standards.
Hold on, Lexi. Let me add something to that. I need to interject right here for a moment. And you ladies are really encouraging me, because Alexis is not a parent. She's still a young woman, and I am a parent. Could be your mothers, all of y'all, and I am some of y'all. Okay, and so when, as parents, we kind of we know the difficulties that we face in marriage. We know when there's things are not right, and if we're responsible parents, that we try to do our best to not allow our children to be pulled into that mess, right? Even if it's a small mess and it's a large mess, whatever we're going through. And so there's a lot of parents that don't have the ability to do that. They're just so angry and they're just so frustrated with the marriage situation that they can't control it, and they just let it all out, and it's projectile straight toward the children. But y'all encourage me, because when we talk about our parenting and we look back and we can rehearse, wow, I wish I could have did that better. I wish I could have been more of an example in this area. Did I do enough? Did I love enough? Did they see enough of a healthy relationship? And far too often, because we know the good, bad, and the ugly as parents, we kind of always think that the worst is always polarized. And when the parents go through difficulties, because we do, because like Alexis says, we are imperfect people trying to be in relationship with each other. And then the ebbs and flows of life, the difficulties that come in families that they have to endure. We always think about, wow, I bet, I wonder how my children are going to turn out. I wonder if they're going to remember most of the good that they've seen in us as opposed to the bad. And so I get great encouragement. Samara is my daughter and Alexis is my daughter. So Alexis being older, I was a much younger parent, and she saw things that Samara didn't experience by virtue of my immaturity. And so, but it's wonderful to know that that you ladies still see such value in us as parents, because it tells me as a mom that I did some things really right, and my husband did some things really right, even though we know we have the things that we didn't do quite well. But we did some really great things, and so that really encourages me. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely. So we talked a little bit about standards, right? So you guys seem to have some you didn't go into detail, but I feel like you guys have some pretty high standards. Because you guys are worth it, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Of course.
Yes.
You demand what you're worth, and your worth is invaluable. So I want to know just like maybe like 5 of these, like, no compromise. This is what you have to bring to the table. Standards, right? You should be like, what is starting with you? What are 5? I was just 5. You have to have this, or I can't get down. What is your 5?
Okay, you have to be sweet, patient, because sometimes I be getting a little moody. And they're gonna need to put up with that.
That's a good one. I need to add that to mine. Hold on.
Okay.
Funny, because I want to laugh. I don't want things to be too serious all the time. I want someone who's, what's the word? Very expressive with their feelings. I don't want it to be all closed in, like a walls up. I want I want it to be out there.
Yeah.
Let's see. And number 5, someone who's smart and intelligent, who has a plan. They want to do something with their life.
Okay.
True.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I like that.
I love it. I love it.
I'm gonna piggyback off her patience one. I wasn't even thinking because oh my gosh, I changed my mind 17 times throughout the day. You ask me where I want to eat, I'm like, ooh. I don't know. So you got to be patient. You have to. This is I'm gonna say one of my top ones for sure. Is you have to come from a family that has faith in their foundation, that has God, that has kind of raised him up to be a man of God.
Yes.
Because I cannot just be hanging out with somebody who doesn't, same yoke. You want to be the same. So that is definitely a big thing for me. Another one would my dad gotta like you. That's one of my standards. If my dad don't like you,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
If my dad does not like you, I'm sorry, buddy, but you gotta go. You gotta go. Another one. So that's what 3. Number 4, you have to be spontaneous. Like, let's go to Atlanta and just go to a rooftop and just watch the sky. I don't know, something crazy.
Yes.
And another one is you have to love me for me. Like I don't need you changing me to form into this perfect image of some girl that's who you want. Like I'm Kayla Matista. I'm staying like this. So don't try to manipulate me to do something or change the way I look. Like I like the way I look and I like the way I am. Don't change that.
That's good. Bravo.
That's a standard.
Okay, for me, I have a list, but okay. So I definitely want a guy who's humorous. 'Cause I love laughing, and I love a humorous guy. That's definitely an attractive point. Like if you're bland, I'm sorry, we can't do that. We can't do that. Another one would be I have to have a sense of security in the relationship. Like I have to know I'm safe with you, and that's a big one for me as well. Another one would be you have to be outgoing. Like I don't want a guy who just doesn't want to do anything. He doesn't want to go out. He just wants to stay in his room all day. I want him to go out with me and have fun. Another one would be you have to be clean, well put together. You wash your hair.
Smell good.
Good.
I agree.
Let me add, if we can say 6, I'm gonna add that to
Yeah.
the number.
You gotta brush your teeth, buddy.
Nice clothes, fashionable. And then another one would be honesty. Like we have to be honest with each other in the relationship. We have to be able to confess our feelings without like being any hard feelings and no arguments coming together. So yeah, that's me.
Outstanding.
I love that.
I love it.
On the flip side of that, I want to know 3 deal breakers. Like 3 things you would be like, I'm out. Like, I ain't got to deal with this. This is too much. What would be 3 things that you can think of? We don't know.
Toxic.
You know, the like the extreme stuff, right? But what if like just maybe like a little quirky thing that you just absolutely cannot stand?
Oh,
if you don't have a job, if you don't have a job, baby, I will not be paying for everything.
No.
If you don't have a job, no, I can't. If you can't drive, I can't. Like, unless you gonna give me gas money, go around. No car, no job. Like, come on. You probably like what, 18, 19?
Come on.
My mom can drive us around. No.
No.
Cool.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay, you say 2. I want to hear one more, Kayla.
Okay, let's see. A deal breaker. If you're not respectful, I mean, that's not really a quirky thing, but if you're not respectful to me, not just to me, but like if we're in a group of people and you're being disrespectful to another girl or another guy, or you're being disrespectful for my brother or your manager, literally anyone, even a fast food worker. If you're not gonna be like, hey, how are you? Can I please get, like, be respectful. Just say please, thank you, yes, ma'am, no, sir. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's the basics. If you can't have that, you can't hang out with me.
All right now. That's good. That's good. I love it. I love it.
Can I go next?
Yes.
Okay, I definitely agree with Kayla. If you don't have respect, I'm out. We're not doing this. If you can't respect others, that means you can't respect me. Another
I love that.
another one would be if you're not a family guy.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I love it.
No, if you're like not like if you're not close to your family, like if you don't have that relationship like you have with your mom, like if you don't, we can't do it. No, you have to be a family guy. And another one would probably be arrogance. I don't like arrogance. Attitude.
Like, thinking they all that.
Thinking all that when they're not.
Like, I need to level you out.
You need to go down a little bit.
Go
down.
Because you.
That's good, Samantha. I love it.
Okay, Kaya, what's your 3 deal breakers?
Okay, for me, one of them is honesty. Because I have to be able to trust you. If you're lying all the time, then like, where's the trust? I'm going to feel, there has to be trust in a relationship. Another one for me is what Kayla said, like a car or a job. I feel like you have to be just be a little independent. You can't just be dependent on like your parents for everything, because that's just kind of a turn off.
Yeah.
Let's see, the third one had to be poor hygiene, or you're coming up, your pants are hanging off, your butt's showing, underwear, you're smelling, your hair is looking a mess, food in your teeth. It's not gonna be. I just can't.
You ladies could teach some grown women some things.
That's right.
I have another one. And you're being a clean person. Now I'm thinking about it, because I can't deal with the slop. Come over, the food all over the place, clothes on the floor. You go to the bathroom. It's nasty. It's disgusting. There's roaches. You have to be clean. I'm someone of a clean freak, and you have to be clean for me.
I agree.
That's great. That's great.
I love it. Okay, so I do have another question. Since we're talking about standards, right? And we're talking about like ideal stuff, right? Ideal situations. What would be your idea of like a perfect first date situation? Since we're talking about Valentine's Day, we're talking about love. What would be your ideal just date scenario? What could a guy do to sweep you off your feet?
Well,
for me,
go ahead. You got it. Go ahead.
I don't need like this big, grand date. I just want maybe a simple dinner and a movie, a nice restaurant to go to. We could talk, get to know each other, and then we go to the movies. Maybe I'm cold. You can give me your jacket. We could share popcorn. Maybe touch hands a little bit. Something simple. I don't want it to be too much, because you may not like the guy. You'd be like, I'm not really feeling him. Sometimes you don't know what to say on a first date as well. You're a little shy. So I feel like, going to the movies, that kind of takes off the pressure off a little bit.
That's good. I love it.
Kayla.
Okay, so my current boyfriend, our first date was actually at McDonald's.
Okay.
So, hey, we got McFlurries and fries, and I was a happy camper. I don't like the only time I feel like you should spend a lot of money is like on big anniversaries, things like that. So like first dates, I would go. There's a little spot here where we live where you can watch the sunset, and it's so pretty. Like, get me a milkshake, maybe like a Uno cards, watch the sunset. Bam, I'm happy.
Yeah,
beautiful.
I'm good.
Simplicity, I love it.
Yeah, simple is better sometimes. Like, I agree. Like, I don't need to go out, go to a fancy restaurant to have a fun time. Like, we can be at home cooking together, baking together, just talking to each other. Like, that really hits home for me.
Now, ladies, there ain't nothing wrong with getting serious. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with grand gestures. Okay?
That's true. Give me some flowers.
The thought and effort for me, and it seems like for you guys, completely supersedes money. Like if somebody they know you and they tap into like really what you like and really what you want, then goes from there and creates, like the operative word is creates an environment or a date that is really thoughtful and well thought out and well planned. It's so much more like special and so much more impactful than say they spent $200 at a restaurant that you couldn't even pronounce hardly anything on the menu, or you had to buy like $100 dress just to get into a club or something like that. Like it's like the thought, getting to really tap into who you are, what you like, listening to what you like and what you want, and then going from there, putting in the effort. Even if it's, at your age, guys don't have a lot of money. Well, most guys don't have a lot of money. But, it's really at this point, and it goes way past being a teenager, like effort and time spent and noticing the little details go such a long way.
When they can listen.
Yes, really capturing your heart and your attention.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Let me ask you
the song you like.
Let me ask you a question. So a lot of things that I see in social media, I see a lot of young ladies, maybe even a little bit older than you. They are very superficial and they have such a high emphasis on what a guy can do for them. Can he buy them a pocketbook? Can he buy them a pair of shoes? And he's always got to be spending his money on them. And guys are under a lot of pressure and can be very turned off from girls that are so demanding and so self-absorbed with what they look like and what a guy can do for them. I mean, do you find that you have friends, or maybe not your friends, but girls like that it's all about what can you do for me, what you're going to make happen for me, and if you can't make nothing happen for me, then you could keep stepping. Do you know girls like that?
Yes, a lot of girls in my school are like that. I'm like, baby, can you buy yourself a pair of shoes?
Absolutely.
That's right.
Can you buy yourself that dress you want? Like, hey, Dad, can I borrow some money so I can buy you shoes? Like, that's the boy you should be asking.
That's right.
Boy.
Good
like,
job.
if I need, I'll be like, Dad, can I have $20 for gas?
Good answer.
Like, so I think, man, girls our age, it's so like draining to see all over social media. I'm like, I know you can go get yourself a job, and you know how much more satisfying it is to buy your own things and not have to be like, oh, maybe they'll buy me these shoes, when you can just go up and get it yourself.
Yeah.
I can
so good,
that.
That's really good, Kayla. What were you, Akaya and Samara? What do you say about the girls that are like super superficial?
I don't know, I feel like you should be dependent on you shouldn't be dependent on other people to get what you want. And maybe like a little bracelet here and there, like just like a little something is fine, but you shouldn't be like depending on them to get this new purse, this jewelry, these new shoes, because it's too much. It's too much right now. Maybe when you're in like a marriage, it's your anniversary, they give you a nice necklace. That's something different. But like if you're like this, you're in high school, you're in a love relationship, then I think it's a little bit too much right now.
Okay.
For me, in my school, I'm pretty sure more than half of them feel that way. Like they have to have a guy to get them everything they want. But for me, I feel like you shouldn't be so dependent on a man. Like it's like, you're a grown woman, you can do what you want to do. And if you want to buy something from me, go right ahead. Like,
true. I'm like,
you want it, you offer it.
I'm not gonna object.
You're offering, I will gladly accept. Absolutely.
That is true. But it should be a half and half.
Yeah.
You go out to dinner. Oh, I'll get it this time. Oh, we're going here. I'll get it this time. Yeah. It shouldn't be 100% over here. It should be a good 50-50 right in the middle.
And that is a huge thing for women. Like, I think that would be split. Like, even older women, they're just like, it's like half and half. Like, some women feel like, we're in a relationship. Like, I can contribute just like you can contribute. And then some women want to be completely taken care of. And the whole responsibility of a good time or a date or even sometimes bills is always on the man.
Yeah.
And I honestly feel like if we're being fair, then, there's nothing wrong with taking the weight off sometimes. There's nothing wrong with even like for Valentine's Day. why is it a female holiday? Like, you're celebrating love, right? You're celebrating. If you have a special someone, you're celebrating love. And that means celebrating the love he brings to this table too, not just the love that he brings to the table.
That's good, Alexis.
There's nothing wrong with, okay, he wants a game from GameStop, or he wants this new pair of sneakers, or this cologne, or there's nothing wrong with celebrating the man in your life that you have affection for, that you love, because he's contributing to the relationship as well. And if he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing and he's treating you well, then he should be, he should be loved on too. And sometimes
he wants to be appreciated too. Of
course.
I agree. It goes both ways.
Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely. Okay, so one last thing that I want to talk to you guys about. So Kayla, you're dating. So obviously, you have already formulated in your mind that, okay, I can do this. I can deal with, the emotional and the mental things that come along with dating a guy. And you're starting to get your feet wet when it comes to the whole dating thing. And you guys have been in a relationship and you guys are happy. It'll last almost a year. But Kayla, you're a little different than Kaya and Sam because you're a little bit older. But Kaya and Sam, do you feel like you're ready to date? Because there's a lot that comes with dating. I'm pretty sure Kayla can tell you, you gotta contend with how you consider it was somebody else's feelings. There's time that needs to be spent with that person to make sure that you guys are, still connected. Know each other. You have to, it's ideal that you consider them in the big decisions that you make, like going to college or a job, but just different things. Do you feel like you guys are ready to date?
Can I go?
Yeah, you go.
Okay, so I personally think in my head, I don't really say it often, but I personally think, oh, I'm so ready to date. I'm ready to get out there in the dating scene. But personally, I'm not ready, like emotionally. And like, I personally feel like I haven't reached that point in my life where I've fully come to accept myself. Because I want to learn to be able to love myself before I love someone else in a relationship.
Ooh, that is so good.
So,
a lot of girls these days don't recognize that. They're just like, oh, everybody's doing it, I'm going to do it too. But that's the whole thing. You need to find yourself before you look for it in somebody else.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have that awareness, the awareness is so important, because if you don't even know that what you're doing, you're just going to just move haphazardly. Like, you're just going to move wherever the wind blows you. But the fact that you have that awareness and saying, I'm not where I need to be yet. I'm not, I still got some things I got to work out. I still got some things that I need to fix on my own before I can even deal with somebody else. Some women don't learn that, and they are grown women.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true.
In their 30s and 40s, and they still have not learned that lesson. So the fact that you're 17 years old and you can acknowledge, hey, listen, I want to, and that sounds nice, but like, I need to fix this first. I need to get this right.
Yeah. That's so good.
That is awesome.
Also, I feel like if I was in a relationship, say I'm in a relationship right now, I feel like I would put all that pressure onto him, and because of all my insecurities and all my struggles, I'll put it onto him, and he'll feel the struggles as well. So we're just taking some time right now.
You hear that, Mom?
I love it.
You said that?
I love it.
You hear what you just said? You have if you want, there's another episode that what you just said is just like there's like I said, there's so many young women, old middle-aged women, grown women that have insecurities about themselves, and they look for a man to fill the void that they need to fill first within themselves before they even look for a guy. That insecurity will have you searching and trying to find somebody, and sometimes that person that fills that void, that looks like they're going to fill that void, is completely dysfunctional.
Yes.
Stay with that person because they think that they need them in order to fulfill that insecurity. That's
yes.
Again, the fact that you have this insight just blows my mind right now. Because
come on, just applause for that. Awesome.
Grown women struggle with, and the fact that you have awareness. I don't know if you saw it in me or in Mom or just your peers. I don't know where you were in this room, but I'm so glad that you did. I'm so glad that you're seeing this before you have to fall and to figure it out.
Yeah.
That makes me so happy.
But you know that also says that you care enough about another human being that you don't want to project your areas of weaknesses on them.
Right.
You want to make sure that you're healthy as a young woman before you try to put that, because anything that you carry in a relationship that's unhealthy, that person is going to bear that burden. And likewise, you're going to bear their burdens. And that's why you have problems in relationships.
Right.
But bravo, Samara. I mean, kudos to you that you said, you know what, let me just take this time to get myself together, to build on who Samara is and be confident who I am. So when I come to the table, I have something good to give. And I'm not looking for you to give it back to me. I'm not looking for you to make it happen for me. I'm already there.
Yes.
Girl, I need to have you on with the grown folks.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Kaya.
Well, I think I'm ready to date to an extent. I mean, I like it right now. I mean, I'm seeing somebody. I mean, I don't know. We really like each other. He's been coming over. We talk on the phone every night. We text all the time. But he's going to be going away to college soon. And in another year, I'm going to be going away to college soon, too. And I just think it's a lot. Relationships are a lot of work. And sometimes I feel like I don't want to put that much work into a relationship right now. I just want to chill. I want to hang out with friends. I want to go to the mall. And, you know, I definitely don't want to like base where I want to go to college based on some guy because, you know, he may be going to this school. So let me go to that school, too. So I think I'm ready to date to an extent. I like it to be chill. I want it to be fun, you know, lightweight, but I don't want it to be too serious.
All right.
I think, and there's different levels of dating too. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with exactly what you're doing. Like, getting to know somebody, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. You know, 5 years from now, you guys have already built that rapport with each other and that relationship, and you guys could be like really good friends. And then you run into each other later on, and you're like, oh,
hey now.
You never know. You took it slow and you got to know that. And you kept it light and you kept it friendly. And even though you might have that attraction to that person, you like them, you didn't put that, you allowed each other to the room and the space to just grow into yourselves. And I think that is really, 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 I love it.
Wonderful.
Oh my gosh, guys.
You all are amazing. I mean, I wish I was my best friends when I was growing up because I was in a whole lot of trouble.
Right. I love this conversation has been so cool. I love it. I love exactly where you guys are. I love that you guys have all know to a really detailed level what you want and what you like, and you know yourselves enough to know where I'm willing to go and where I'm not willing to do. I think that is extremely commendable.
Yes, it is.
Strong.
Yes, it is.
Very, very strong. Kudos to you guys. That's amazing. And I can't wait to see how you guys mature and how you go, where you're going to be in 5 years, where you're going to be in 5 years, and the women that you're going to become. If you're talking like this now, I'm just going to be blown away.
Yes.
The things that you're going to accomplish and the things that you're going to see. And I just hope and pray for nothing but amazing things for you guys. I hope and pray for nothing but amazing things in your love life. Find amazing partners. Maybe not now. Who knows what's going to happen? But let yourselves grow up. Let yourselves experience things. Date. Have fun. Nothing wrong with that. But just keep yourself first.
Yes.
Make sure that you're always putting yourself in a position where you feel uplifted and appreciated.
Yes.
And find yourself in a situation where you're not have the strength and have the self-love to say this is not for me. I need
That's right. That's right.
And I think that you guys have the ability to do
that.
The way that you speak, you have the ability to have that level of strength to just to stand your ground. So I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yes. Listen, this has been wonderful.
I feel like I learned a lot from this conversation. I think it helped me realize some things as well.
Awesome. And that's why we're here, Kaya. So, and listen, you've taught us some things, and I'm telling you, I feel proud and I feel good when I see you ladies. I'm like, well, that's a keeper right there. That one right there. She's
absolutely all y'all.
Yes, and your parents and your moms are going to be so, so, so proud of you. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Sistah Talks. We love you. We believe the best is yet to come for your lives. Remember to keep loving yourself, love your mind, your body, and your soul, because you are totally worth it. And that guy, whenever he might come, whenever he gets you, he's going to certainly get a treasure, okay?
He sure is.
Yes, yes. See you soon. We're going to get you ladies back on another episode of Sistah Talks. Keep on doing what you're doing and being yourself. We love you, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Sistah Talks.
We cannot begin to express the gratitude and appreciation for all of your love and all of your support that you've given us so far.
If you've enjoyed this program, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube page. And if you feel so inclined, you can go ahead and support this show by clicking on the link below and giving any gift that you decide.
You can also follow us on Instagram and also on Facebook, Sistah Talks, and also hashtag Sisters Let's Talk for anything that is linked to us.
Like it and share it to all your friends, ladies. We love you and thank you. And we'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.